The notion that Ukraine should serve as a neutral buffer between the East and West, as what Finland did during the Cold War, has become a debatable issue. This is believed to be adopting the concept of Finlandization, or the Finnish model, and has been suggested by several European leaders, including French President Emmanuel Macron, in order for Russian President Vladimir Putin to end his invasion over Ukraine, as well as a way to resolve the current crisis in Eastern Europe. Finlandization refers to Finland's neutrality policy toward NATO and the Warsaw Pact during the Cold War. This happened mainly because after two Soviet invasions in 1939 and 1941, the Finns had to accept increased Soviet dominance in their domestic politics to retain their sovereignty, making Finland a neutral buffer state. However, Russia's renewed invasion of Ukraine and Finland's long history of subjugation has now sparked a rethinking among the Finns. For the first time, roughly half of the Finnish population supports joining NATO. Finland's government even released a security policy report on April 13 that lays the foundation for a NATO membership decision mentioning Russia's threat. So, here is the question. If Finland renounces its forced neutrality and joins NATO, would it secure a more prosperous future? Hello everyone, welcome back to Military TV. Today, we're trying to discuss about why Finland's future is with NATO. If you're curious about this topic, don't go anywhere and stay tuned. Finland's mass self-censorship toward the Soviet Union, official neutrality in Cold War geopolitics, and submissiveness in allowing the Soviet Union to invade its society are all the cost Finland must pay in preserving its independence. Therefore, since the Cold War, Finland has claimed that staying out of NATO has best protected their national security and that it avoided disrupting the military balance in the Baltic Sea region and provoking Russia. However, after the Cold War ended, Finland began gradually shifting its orientation toward the US and Western Europe, joining the European Union in 1995 and signing several cooperation agreements with NATO. For instance, Finland participates in NATO military exercises and increasingly shares insights with it. Finland also becomes part of the NATO Partnership for Peace program, which promotes cooperation with non-member alliances and, along with Ukraine, is one of 6 enhanced opportunity partners, which significantly contribute to NATO operations. Finland today is a far cry from the Cold War downcast buffer state. Although the ghost of Finlandization dwelled and Finns complied with the notion of keeping good relations with Russia as the cornerstone of their foreign policy, Finland is now one of the few European countries that authorizes conscription in attempt to field a strong military. The Finnish constitution states that every citizen, particularly males at the age of 18 to 60, is compelled to serve in military for national defense. Hence, Finland trains 21,000 troops each year and maintains a large reserve force of 900,000. Moreover, defense force expenditure has also increased since 2014, with some purchases of new aircraft indicating the close cooperation between Finland National Defense Corps' leaders in business, political, civic, and media. On the other hand, Finland requires its pharmaceutical companies to stockpile 3 to 10 months' worth of imported drug supplies. It also already stores 6 months' worth of fuel and grain as a preliminary measure to ensure it has enough resources to withstand an aggressor. Overall, Finland has now begun taking steps to protect itself from Russian hybrid threats such as border violations, influence campaigns, and cyber warfare. Since its independence, Finland has spent 104 years tiptoeing around Russia, with whom it shares a 1,300-kilometer border, making it Europe's second-largest shared border with Russia. Also, Finland's 280,000-strong military is still overshadowed by Russian defense. Thus, Finland is fully aware of the costs of war against its giant neighbor, as 25,000 and 75,000 casualties inflicted in the Winter War and the Continuation War, respectively. For these reasons, the advancements made by Finland in terms of military and resources have been a necessary precaution to help bolster its sovereignty and security. This, furthermore, leads to the reason why Finland wants to join NATO. The NATO membership offers some benefits, including military expertise, support, and technology. More importantly, the alliance's collective defense guarantee provides deterrence value, which is mentioned in Article 5 of the NATO Charter, stating that an attack on one NATO member is an attack on all members. This means NATO protects its members' internal and external peace by deterring conflict. This deterrence factor, therefore, is what makes Ukraine, a non-NATO member, be at the center of Europe's only large-scale conflict after World War II. It is also the reason why the Cold War never ended up getting hot. Ultimately, the Finnish people and their elected representatives could make an application for NATO membership, although it takes a unanimous vote from NATO's 30 participating countries for Finland to be officially accepted as a member. Looking at Finland's long-standing partnership with NATO and its recent efforts to meet with several NATO countries, however, the chance is quite promising. Besides that, Finland is one of the world's most developed nations with stable democracies and highly trusted political institutions. This resonates with the criteria for aspirant nations to be a NATO's member, which include a functioning democracy based on a market economy, fair treatment of minority populations, a commitment to peaceful conflict resolution, and a willingness and ability to contribute to military forces to NATO operations. Hence, Finland's strong democratic system would take it to the fast track for membership. So, if Finland joins NATO, what it would bring for NATO? Well, having Finland in the alliance, on the other hand, would undoubtedly make NATO easier to stabilize the security of the Baltic Sea region. It also contributes to the defense of NATO members Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, which are often viewed as potential targets for Russian aggression due to large ethnic Russian minorities, and Vladimir Putin has used protecting them as a pretext for intervening Ukraine. In addition, with equipment is already compatible with that of the alliance, Finland is expected to join NATO's sophisticated, well-equipped militaries. This would lengthen NATO's border with Russia, which currently accounts for only 6% of Russia's land perimeter, and allow the alliance to improve its surveillance of the country's western flank. However, given that Finland joins NATO, it would bring significant experience defending against and preparing for Russian aggression, as well as a highly regarded peacekeeping reputation. Eventually, those who are against Finland's NATO membership must take into account that the country's decision will be based on the Finns' belief that joining NATO will be the best way to protect their sovereignty. As a result, Finland would no longer require Cold War realpolitik to maintain its place in the world. Finlandization is now supposed to be served as a benchmark for how far the country has progressed, rather than a token for geopolitical hostage-taking. So, that's all for today. If you find this video is interesting, don't forget to hit like and subscribe buttons. Or if you have any suggestion about another interesting topic, please let us know in the comment below. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.